Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Rich Tehrani here, and we are at Interop 2012 in Vegas. On our program is Eddie Arrage. He's the Market Development Manager. Did I get that right? Manager at Ixia. Yeah. Fantastic. So, Eddie, I wanted to start out. Obviously, I've known your company for many years in testing, and a fast-growing company in the space organically and also through acquisition. You recently made an acquisition, but before we talk about that, I figured just give us an overview of the company in your own words so that the viewers are in sync with what Ixia stands for and what you're doing.
Absolutely. So Ixia is really a leader in test and measurement. A lot of our customers are equipment manufacturers. That's really where we start in the food chain. And we really help enable the equipment manufacturers. And we also then work with service providers. As the equipment gets adopted and deployed in the network, we work with service providers to then really validate the overall network characteristics. And then we also work with enterprises as well to really validate their deployments. And Ixia is really a leader in router and switch testing, but over the last 5 years we've evolved into more application testing. So now we can really emulate hundreds of different enterprise applications, emulating different devices, different users and protocols, and that really allows us to move into security testing, into application delivery testing, storage network validation as well.
So what are some of the more popular applications for testing?
Yeah, so some of the popular ones that enterprises are trying to validate, a hot one is video, right? So you have Flash Video, you have Microsoft Silverlight, Adobe HLS, we got peer-to-peer protocols that people are working with. Of course, traditional apps like FTP and mail and web. And really validating that these applications end-to-end will perform with a high quality of experience. That the users will feel that they're getting good bandwidth and a good experience when they're interacting with their applications.
Now talk to me about the acquisition you just made.
Sure. Yeah, we just acquired a Nui. We announced we made the announcement today, our intent to acquire. And what that gives us, we really work very heavily in the lab with equipment manufacturers.
And that's ANUE, right?
Yeah, ANUE. And what that allows us is to really move out of the lab and into live networks. Because the Nui is really strong in monitoring.
Sure.
And there'll be a really great synergy, we believe, over time, because we'll be able to monitor the network, let's say in the context of data center and cloud, which is a hot topic here at the show, and diagnose which parts of the subsystems of a data center or cloud have issues, and then use our current product set to really take that into the lab and then figure out where the bottlenecks are, where the issues are with those subsystems to really improve application delivery and improve security effectiveness.
So in terms of trends, what are you seeing in the market? Service provider, enterprise, any kind of trends, applications, like what? Sure. I'm sure people would like to know what's happening.
Absolutely.
Because I've always said that the testing vendors, by the way, you guys are at the forefront of knowing where the future is going to be in terms of optimism and a whole bunch of other things. For example, when your business is doing well, that generally means the communications and technology market's going to do well right after, because you're doing the testing on the leading edge for new products and services.
You've got it exactly right. That's right. We essentially work at the outset when protocols are first being formulated to help the equipment manufacturers improve their robustness, their scalability ultimately, and then the food chain moves into service providers and enterprise from there. So some of the very interesting trends is certainly in data center. We believe we have a very holistic approach to testing data center. And you'll hear at the show here, cloud everywhere, right? Cloud and virtualization, everywhere. Very hot topic.
Everywhere, absolutely.
And really what a cloud is, it is a data center in the end. And a data center is comprised of a complex set of subsystems that have to be validated independently to figure out where the bottleneck is, because it'll be the weakest link that brings down the data center, right? It could be the storage network. Sure. It doesn't have enough IOs.
The plug you trip over.
Pardon me?
The plug you trip over, the wire on the floor.
Yeah, there you go, exactly.
Could be anything.
Yeah, and so within the data center, there's some interesting trends coming, right? In the switching fabrics, you're starting to see emerging protocols like SPBM and Trill, because enterprises really like to work with very large layer 2 domains. They don't want to have to worry about routing and subnets if they can help it, and really allows their VMs to be moved around from data center to data center with ease, without a lot of OpEx costs. So, but to really, as you expand those big layer 2 networks, you really need ways to figure out how to deal with loops, right? You've got spanning tree issues, you've got redundancy, and that's what protocols like SPVM and Trill and Cisco's proprietary version of it, Fabric Path, are really trying to solve some of those resiliency, redundancy, and scale issues. And then, interestingly, you've got software-defined networking, which is another big buzzword. Protocols like OpenFlow at the forefront of software-defined networking. And it's exciting because it really allows now big, large data center operators like the Googles of the world, the Amazons of the world, to really dynamically control the way that the switching fabric will function, all the way from the WAN port of entry, all the way to the VMs in the virtualized compute. So what we've announced here at the show is that we've got an industry-first protocol emulation of OpenFlow. So we're allowing switch vendors that are supporting OpenFlow to help test the robustness of their implementations. Essentially, we can populate the switch entries in these switches and then validate the data path by using some of our traditional products to do data plane testing.
So what's next?
What's next? Definitely security is top of mind with a lot of enterprise IT folks, and that we'll be beefing up our security, our security suite of products. Right now we have 8,000 different types of malware that we support. If you go over to SonicWall's booth, you'll actually see a bake-off between some of the key vendors in the industry, a comparison there. What you can expect from us as we progress this year is a lot larger attack library. Attackers are getting more and more of finding ways to get around security infrastructure. And virtualization is a very interesting topic now. You've got the blurring of switching and compute. A lot of players in the industry like Cisco have realized this with their UCS platform. You've got Dell acquiring Force 10 because they realize that compute and switching, at least at the access side, is starting to merge. So that's, Ixia is really going to support that evolution as well. I mean, we have now virtualized interfaces in addition to what we've done really well over many years with our hardware solutions.
Well, thanks for being here.
No, great. Thanks for having me.
Great to meet you.
Appreciate it.